taken out by EG.
And here comes the test, which I think is, it came through too fast. The test was going to be Evelyn, or not Evelyn, sorry, but Elise, of who's going to grab that. And right away, Alternate have grabbed the champion away. So Shocker has to go down to third pick. The two I expect to see here are Jarvan and Evelyn, the most likely ones for him. The Elise, though, is so strong for Alternate, though. I guess we haven't seen her on support in, like, forever anymore, so I'm going to stop calling that one out as a potential swap. But as a top laner and as a jungler, I know both these guys can play the champion. It just gives them a lot of opportunity for their matchups.
Well, we see that both Twitch and Nami going to be locked in here for Evil Geniuses. Now, this is not a normal matchup for EG, you know? Twitch, Nami? When was the last time we say that? I can't off the top of my head think of when that was.
No, this is a mind game right here because they know Froggen played it in the mid lane last time. And it's one of a couple things because on one side, you can just pick Malphite and just poop on Yellowpete if that's a Yellowpete champion. He's done well in the champion before. We've seen both Froggen and Pete play Twitch here. But the weird thing is, because Froggen played it yesterday and did a good job, you now scare Alternate. You now scare ForellenLord into saying, well, shoot, what do we actually throw against Twitch mid lane? And it might not even be Twitch mid lane. So it's them throwing out one card here that's an ambiguous card, and it'll screw with Alternate's champ select.
Well, we'll see then what Alternate do from this one. You can see there's a lot of discussion now going on the left-hand side of the screen. Lissandra was left open now. This is a big pick for ForellenLord. Played 4 games with her, won 3 of them. It's not going to be Teemo, although they left that till the very last second. Damn it! Why couldn't they have, you know, just failed to click and locked in Teemo? That would have been nice. But it's going to be the Blitzcrank coming out from Alternate. Interesting. Jree likes that kind of champion. Obviously loves his Thresh as well.
Yeah, and I like this sort of setup here for Alternate because it gives them incredibly good assassination potential, right? There's only probably going to be one tank on the EG lineup at this point if it is going to be a dual AD carry sort of setup, which means chances are if you pull something, it's probably something worth killing overall. And with both Lissandra and Elise in there, they can get rid of any of the AD carries they want. And with someone like Nami doesn't really clutch save someone very hard compared to like a Thresh Lantern or a Sona Crescendo. And so the ability for Alternate to just remove one of those carries is pretty strong. And so they've already been set up for success with these early picks.
Yeah, and I guess we're going to see them actually waiting here with that mid lane / second AD if they go for that kind of thing to last. And Alternate themselves can leave them guessing a little bit. You know, Elise, Lissandra, top lane, middle lane, jungle for Elise as well. Not unheard of. On the other side, though, it will be Xin Zhao and that Renekton locked in.
Interesting. So it is actually double Bruiser coming in as the front line here for Evil Geniuses. Now, Wicked's been saying that he's been playing very, very consistently, and he said that he actually missed playing Bruisers. He said it's been a long time. He said, you know, every top laner is playing mages, or they're playing Malphite and things. Like, I want to get back to playing Aurelia and Renekton. And he's back. He's back to playing Renekton, and I feel like he's going to do very, very well here playing just something that suits his play style so well. He can get in there. He can pretty much soft carry the game. He has an amazing Renekton in general, and this is a good fit. It's interesting just because there's such limited peel now if they do run double AD carry at the very end of it all. But if they run something a little bit more well-rounded, it gives a lot more room for Wickd to run around and carry.
Well, let's have a look here. We have the beauty of watching Wickd play against Ninjas in Pajamas earlier on in the scrim with Renekton. We can tell you he was pretty beastly in what we saw from that one before we had to move in to our first games of the day. But right now, Alternate going to be locking in the Malphite and the Varus, which almost certainly tells us that Elise is going to go to Araneae in the jungle.
And there we go. The Malphite is so important here because Twitch has no innate escape tools for a Malphite, and he's so attack speed based, right? He comes out of stealth with the Q. His ultimate only lasts for a few seconds. You ground slam that guy after knocking him into the air with the Malphite Unstoppable Force, and you've nullified almost all of the effect of the Twitch ultimate. And you've cut down what he's supposed to do in a team fight. I like that they grabbed Malphite finally. They tried to see if EG would pick double AD carry at the very end there. EG waited for their presumably mid lane pick here at the very end. But it's a very smart choice there. You kind of would have seen it coming. And now you've got an interesting matchup because you've got Wickd potentially fighting a Malphite who's going to like to stack armor and does mostly physical damage as Renekton, so it could be a difficult matchup.
Well, let's see what EG round off with here. They're leaving it until the very last seconds for this one, and it looks like it will be a Ryze actually locked in here for Froggen.
I like the Ryze pickup a lot because whenever you run a threat, a big threat that's going to get dived, you need another really big threat that doesn't go down. I like Ryze when he's paired with champions like Twitch or champions like Vayne, where it's like, well, they're both going to hyper carry. You can try to kill one, the other's going to kill you. And so when the Malphite dives in and tries to kill off Twitch, tries to kill off Yellowpete, Froggen's going to be like, that's nice, you built a Sunfire Cape and Randuin's Omen, and your mouth, I'm Rise, I'm just going to kill you now, please enjoy losing the game. And so you've got this huge, I guess, triple threat really for EG. The Renekton's going to be huge. I think Wickd's going to have, generally speaking, a good time of it. Yellowpete has to be dealt with, and Froggen has to be dealt with, and you really can't get rid of all three.
So we're just having a quick remake here because one of our spectators didn't quite manage it to get in the game. No names called on that one. Jason. So we're going to be getting into this one. Captain Kaplan saves the day again. But yeah, we're going to be getting into this one. I'm really interested to see how Wickd does this one. He told me before the game, we were just outside, he's like, I've got 3 champions that I want to play on this one. And I kind of just said, it's Malphite, Zac, or Renekton, isn't it? And he's like, yeah. So he's managed to get his Renekton this time around. Malphite obviously going to be over on the other side. But this bottom lane, Twitch and Nami, you know, something that, as I said, we've seen them play those champions before, but it's certainly not a standard EG bottom lane.
It's a matchup that I think favors Alternate a little bit because the sustain for the EG bottom lane is pretty low, and Varus can poke a lot. Normally when you face up against a Blitzcrank, you know that the all-in, the pick potential is very high. If a hook lands, you're going to be in kind of bad shape and it's going to be rough. So normally you like try to poke the Blitzcrank out. You play champions like Zyra who have really long-range threats and can punish Blitzcrank for trying to get in position for a hook. The problem is Nami's harass is not very high, and when she gets in there, she's going to be in range of Varus to counterattack. And so I feel like if they go 2v2, especially in the early levels, it's hard for EG to deal with this lane. I expect them to maybe swap around and kind of donate a 2v1 to someone else in their lineup and let Yellowpete scale, because Pete is one of their big late game carries. They want to get Twitch fed so he can blow up the enemy team.
And we talk about, you know, Thresh more than Blitzcrank, I suppose, these days, but that hook is a game changer. You can miss 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, but one of them can change the game. One of them can get you rolling. Obviously, you need to at least land some of them. That's the major point about it as well. But
yes.
Let's talk about level 1, because we're getting close to actually coming in there. And that Blitzcrank hook is obviously going to be a big threat for him. On the other side, Nami got the bubble, similar kind of thing. But the fact is that Blitzcrank is dangerous at this stage of the game.
And it's almost always going to be, because the team is so explosive. They got so much crowd control there. Even if they pull in a tank, ForellenLord can actually go dive into the rest of the EG lineup, lock them down, and self-cast his ultimate, and then hold them there while they kill someone off. Then Forellen could like Zhonya's and then wait for his team to clean up and then re-engage with the Kerp ultimate or something like that. So there's certainly a lot of synergy there that even if they don't hook the best target, Alternate can still salvage that team fight very very well. Not to mention if they pick off a Twitch or something.
So here we go then, in-game with Alternate versus Evil Geniuses. Earlier on in the season, Alternate were top of the table. EG were rooted to the bottom. Things have changed here, though, as we said earlier on, that both teams are almost headed in opposite directions at this point.
EG was rooted to the bottom, but it seems that they've sprouted up and they've now grown new fruit, and they're growing now into the top side of the table. But right here, you know, it's interesting. So Araneae is, of course, in the jungle here on Elise. It is going to be Kerp as the top laner. And it's EG looking for some early antics. They've all piled up here. And, of course, a lot of teams try to check this with a skill shot and see if someone's around. But there's not an easy way for Alternate to actually check this. They don't have easy skill shots to throw out there unless they go for, like, a blind hook. So EG won't get spotted trying this.
I mean, if they went to Baron and threw that hook there, I mean, it's easy for us to say, of course, because I'm like, yeah, I'd definitely go to Baron and throw the hook through, and that'd land on Wickd, and then they kill it. But yeah, that's obviously not quite as easy when you're in the player's point of view. But looks like it's going to be maybe a delayed invade at the most here from Evil Geniuses.
That looks like the real situation here. They've got very good level 1 fighting overall, the Rune Prison, the Nami Bubble, and whatnot, and they're trying to use that to snowball ahead. So Kerp, waiting in the side, will see them. He won't reveal himself, so EG doesn't know how much they're spotted, but it will let Araneae know, oh, I'm just going to run and steal your blue buff, and we'll trade.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going for at this stage. Wickd actually coming around here to maybe run some disruption on that one. Araneae, of course, is going to be coming in. Got his smite available if they need to get that one away quickly. Actually, Shaka here is going to be taking the blue buff for Evil Geniuses away from Alternate. Alternate, we should probably mention they're finishing off the full camp. Shaka has done the same on the other side as well, so they both have the spawn times.
Though the interesting thing is neither team has their own ward on their own buff, so they don't know the timers just yet. Only when the jungler shows up there and gets revealed, or reveals the camera and says, oh, it was cleared, then they can guess the 7-minute timer.
Well, I meant from the other side, you know, in case they want to invade on the second.
Of course,
on the second spawn.
Yeah, and they can go in for the 7 minutes. And actually, there's one small edge for alternate because EG don't know if I don't think they know if alternate went for their red buff or for the invade and the blue buff first. So EG doesn't quite know those two right-hand side buff timers.
Right. So a bit of guesswork probably needed to get them through all of that. All right, now we are seeing a bit of a lane switch. So it's going to be Kerp in the top lane versus Twitch Nami, and bottom lane will be Wicked's Renekton versus Varus and Blitzcrank. Who has the better time in this one, Freak?
Well, in general, Malphite at least can last hit, and he's a little bit more resistant to harass as well because of his passive. So you look at Wickd, and he's hiding behind his turret. He learned Slice and Dice at level 1. He actually recalled, by the way, for some extra health potions. He's got Longsword 5, but Shaker's getting caught up.
Yeah, Shaker actually doing a lot of damage there to Araneae, but Araneae comes in onto Shaker, turns around. Araneae is going to go down. First blood comes in for Shaker, and there is Froggen coming around the side. He gets himself the double buffs, and EG will love that, and that is the aggressive. It's funny because he was Araneae talking about that yesterday, and that's exactly what's happened.
Xin Zhao's early damage output is absolutely massive. He's definitely got a few points in the offense tree. It looks like 921-0, but just enough to just belt damage out right there. Incredibly impressive play right there. And of course, the buff being transferred to Froggen is going to give him a pretty easy lane against ForellenLord.
As Kerp being bubbled up in the top lane. Took a little bit of harassment from Yellowpete and Krepo. Here we see Araneae coming around. Actually, he's going to walk straight into Froggen, who's not going to have seen him coming there because he came just out of the bush just as Araneae actually rounded the corner. So they know that Froggen's going for this top lane. Are they going to try and intercept this one? It might be too late for it. You know, Kerp's going to get himself under the turret, flashes away from the bubble. Who's going to pull the aggro? That's going to be Krepo first of all. Kerp going very low. It's going to be the finisher there from Yellowpete as Araneae comes in, says, I want my blue buff back. But is he going to be able to escape from this one? ForellenLord's coming around the side. He does a lot of damage on towards Krepo, who flashes away. Now Araneae's moving in himself, but I think that may just be the end of this one. Oh, Yellowpete could go super aggressive, going right in there himself, and now Araneae's chasing, gets hit with a cocoon, can't dodge that one, uses the barrier. Araneae is now low. Expunge being used. Here comes Kerp with the teleport to the top lane. This is a never-ending fight as more damage comes from ForellenLord. Yellowpete gets under the turret. The fight stops. Araneae got his buffs back, and that's what he was looking to do.
And even if they kept on chasing down, Froggen could have teleported back into the fight and made other crazy things happen right here. So that could have been all kinds of scary if alternate chased out here. So now here comes the fun part, because the lanes have been thrown around a lot, but the teleport advantage is now here for Froggen. So theoretically, EG can make more moves out of this and can keep forcing the issue with their new sort of trademark early aggression.
And the funny thing is, this is alternate style of game, you know, a crazy, chaotic matchup. They love these kind of games, and I think it's harder for EG, you know, as having that new man in there, Shaka, albeit as a jungler, you know. I think it's going to be harder for them to actually deal with that in this scenario because they have less training together as a team.
Well, and you got to look at this. Shaker keeps throwing things into the works. He gets cocooned out, though. Here comes Araneae.
Down to half HP already. That red buff, of course, on him. There is the jump over, and Shaker is a dead man. Now they may be able to tie down Froggen as well. ForellenLord putting in good damage there. Another couple of hits not going to come in there as Araneae gets hit by the turret, but that's another one picked up here, and it puts ForellenLord at 2-1-0. Let's not forget his amazing Lissandra play, or when we look back towards, you know, the likes of DreamHack, where alternate were on fire and went 5-0 in our first weekend.
And ForellenLord doing an amazing job right here. Froggen taking a bunch of damage. Ooh, good repel, get him out of that one. And this is what Araneae talked about yesterday when he said that Shaker was sort of over-aggressive to a fault. Basically, Ara planned for this one and more or less got a counter gank. Just walked up, cocooned him in the face and said, okay, 2-on-1, easy kill, thank you very much. And that's the kind of things that alternate can turn around. You notice that despite EG's crazy sort of level 2, get a bunch of kills, double buffs on Froggen, holy crap, 3-3 equal gold.
And ForellenLord's actually gone in for that early blasting one here as well, so he wants that initial power in the lane, and probably going to be trying to dominate Froggen, who's got that tier stacking up, got the mana crystal in there as well, so we'll see how that one all goes down. ForellenLord is 5 now, so he's not going to be too far away from that ulti level as Wickd here. Going to go in on towards WhiteKnight. Jree going to walk around the side as well. They noticed that Shaka was going to get involved in that one, and they decided they didn't want any part of it.
It was a good time for EG to pick a fight because the lane was starting to get pushed down, and they didn't want to get frozen out of it. So Wickd came in on a WhiteKnight, tried to bait cooldowns because Shaka was coming to support him. That was a well-executed attempt right there by EG, but Ultimate just didn't want to fight that one, backed out, and said, look, we're still going to try to freeze this.
So there's that second spawn of the blue buff that we were talking about earlier on. Araneae wanted to hold it for ForellenLord, but he was scared that Shaka would come around there and be able to steal that one away, which didn't happen in the end. The creeps are, the camp is actually still alive in that one, so they need to be careful, as we are going to see the pull straight down the middle from from Jree, and nicely dodged by EG.
Nicely done right there. So Araneae going to get the other blue buff though for his own team, and that is exactly what these guys wanted. Araneae getting that good counter gank in the mid lane actually snowballed him ahead of what Shaka can do. You can see a level advantage for Ara there. Of course, kind of a little bit of home field advantage, not only being in Spain, but playing his namesake as well. So a little bit OP synergy there, and just that gank happening allowed them to steal away the blue, then get their own, and they've got this really big mid-game lead. I talked about teleport being big for Froggen, but now they've got a level advantage and a buff advantage, which is big for Ultimate.
So let's have a look down some of the items coming in. I already talked about that mid lane, but since then Froggen has added that catalyst in there as well. See that Malphite is double CS with Wicked's Renekton right now, got Chain Vest, Door and Shield, compared to that longsword right now that Wickd is actually sat on. I think that was actually what he came into the game with there right at the start. Both junglers got a Spirit Stone and the Boots of Speed. AD carries Yellowpete behind in CS, has already gone back for the Vamp Scepter.
And Yellowpete, I expect, is going to start out with a Blade of the Ruin King. That seems to be the new first item for Twitch, because the added damage for Ruin King, the percent current health on hit, doesn't get affected by the Twitch fall-off damage from the ultimate. So it allows him to actually spray down an entire team a little bit harder, and it also gives him a little bit of extra escape tools. If he gets jumped on by an Elise or a Malphite, the extra movement speed and slow can help him outplay the enemy champions and get back to safety and keep attacking. So Yellowpete's going to try to keep himself safe and still put out damage during a fight.
And that was Araneae. He's been helped a little bit by ForellenLord. First dragon of the game going over to Alternate. They're now 1,200, 300 gold in the lead in this one as it starts to tick over. Nice little pickup for them. And to be honest, they're doing a great job in terms of the farm as well. As Kerp now here. Is he going to get pressured? No, EG won the turret.
That's a really smart play, actually, to go for that one, because if they did jump onto Kerp, he'd either ult out or ult onto them and force turret aggro to deal a lot of damage right there. And they're always afraid of, without eyes on Araneae, of what if he's there to counter gank? We get ult under a turret and then the spider shows up. It's a rough place to be, so EG taking the safe advantage, and now with Kerp stuck top lane, they can roam for the mid lane and get even more.
So, are they going to be able to pick anything up here? ForellenLord surely will be expecting something to happen with this one, as Wickd just going a little bit low down in that bottom lane. ForellenLord now is going to get locked up from this one, tries to escape, has to use a flash, but Shaka's on top of him. Froggen will nuke him down. Good pickup by AG. For me, though, that was kind of obvious that that was going to happen.
It was impressive, though. There weren't any wards to spot that one out. Not that really saw them come through, and now with a huge number advantage, they can get a second turret for this. There's EG. Uh-oh.
Unstoppable force underneath the tower, and the aggro actually landing onto Shaka, and he's been hit by the turret there. Repel comes out from Araneae. He's going to go straight back down where he started. And Shaka getting away with his life. Good damage put down. Alternate going to be taking, though, a turret back here on that bottom lane.
That's very, very good, because Shaka has almost never been helping Wickd here. He's been looking for ganks. He's Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao is a ganker. He's not so much a lane babysitter. When you're someone like Nasus, all right, sure, show up, wave clear, keep the turret alive, let your solo laner get a little bit more experience and keep him safe. That's not what Xin Zhao does, though, nor is it really what Elise does, unless you get a full-on counter gank. So both these junglers knew they would have to let their solos sort of languish there and lose their turrets, and it was really up to them to find kills elsewhere. Both have done a pretty good job of that.
So both the solos now with those giant belts in there as well. Obviously, Malphite closer to that good old Sunfire cape here. That should be coming in pretty soon. And he's got a 20 CS lead over what Wickd has. But with that tower down now, it's going to give him a chance to really get himself back in the game, in the farm game. Varus, obviously, WhiteKnight does already have The Bloodthirster in there as they're going on towards Yellowpete. Is he going to survive this one? The Ignite is ticking away. ForellenLord will pick up that kill as they go over onto Krepo. He's forced to flash out. This is another turret for Alternate.
And that's the hardcore engage potential of having a Lissandra and a Malphite on your lineup. Malphite ults down, no worries. ForellenLord can do the exact same thing. Dash forward, root you for at least a second, then ult you for another 1.5, and then Jree shows up just to ult for damage out. It doesn't even hook the guy, but it's enough. And that is so incredibly powerful when you can just make things happen, dive in and start fights. And now Wickd's getting caught.
Oh, Wickd could be in trouble here. Actually, Alternate start to back away as Shaka and Krepo come across to that one. I see Krepo didn't have the wave. Use that in that last encounter there as Jree has a bit of a dance in the middle of the map. Why not, if you can? But look at the CS lead here for WhiteKnight over Yellowpete. That's pretty damn big at this point. 112 to 75 CS.
Yellowpete's lane has been under siege a little bit there, and he's actually roamed out of his lane a number of times to try to get some pressure down, whereas you saw WhiteKnight stay there uncontested for a very, very long time, just farming and just getting a giant gold lead. And so now Yellowpete, you can see the gold 600 apart. He has to find some way to get extra gold, or he's going to get outscaled by Averos, which you never want as Twitch.
Well, it looks like EG actually want to get in for this. Got to flash away, actually, as they manage to land the cocoon in there. The hook from Jree will miss, and Shaka is going to dive in, puts his ultimate down. There comes Chain of Corruption, going to hold Shaka in place. Spreads off to Wickd. Well, EG are still chasing this one. They want to get in towards Araneae, who's going to go with the repel. Can't go anywhere. Uses the flash as he comes back down, and Alternate actually getting away with that one.
That was impressive right there. Thankfully for EG, the Chain of Corruption only danced to one other target. It went to Wickd, and no one else got hit right there. They managed to stay out of range of the bounces, and that allowed EG to dive on through. But you've got good escape tools. You've got good crowd control coming out from Veros. You can just toss out the hail of arrows and run back, kite back with that one. Kerp, he's able to steal movement speed, and Froggen just couldn't quite get in range. Didn't want to flash Rune Prison, decided it wasn't really worth it, and you just keep walking backwards. Burn the flash okay, but yeah, good escape.
So what's next on the menu here? First Dragon, of course, taken earlier on by Alternate. Right now, EG looking for tower number 2 by the looks of things. The outer bottom turret has got no protection. EG have actually got 5 members in the immediate vicinity, and they could end up going for a fight after this.
It'll be close. The recalls come in from Kerp. He could buy Home Guard, teleport in, and start any fight he wants to. The ulti's up for ForellenLord as well. Alternate are chasing down. They could bring him in. I want to see what Kerp does. If he doesn't burn teleport, they won't go for it.
Jree just looking for that hook, and just the menacing presence of a Blitzcrank can force you to back off a lot from that one. We can see the Dragon coming up in half a minute, and Alternate already around there. Pink Ward's going in there, and EG, I don't believe they have a full timing on that one either, so they're going to be guessing on that front. Alternate should be able to lock down Dragon 2.
They'll have a decent estimation, but the thing is, there's already ward coverage here, but Yellowpete getting caught.
Oh, he gets Cocoon hooked and absolutely destroyed there by Alternate, and, well, you just don't, I'm sorry, but you just don't escape those.
No, Cocoon into Rocket Grab, they both landed their skill shots there. They're waiting around, another dance comes in from Jree. That was a well-deserved dance. They got, actually the thing was, they had a pink ward there, and like, Yellowpete stealthed around the corner, and there happened to be a pink ward there. Like, how fortunate that has to be for them. But, I mean, you get the kill, you get the Dragon afterwards as well, and now you still have some time to put pressure elsewhere on the map. That top turret could very well be next.
Yeah, a bit of luck always. Well, you can't be a champion, in my opinion, without a little bit of luck as well being on your side. So, no, good stuff from Alternate, and they are going to be pushing in towards that inner middle turret. Let's not forget they put damage down onto it earlier on. Kerp says, I am strong, made of rock, and I will tank it up. WhiteKnight gets the final hit, and Alternate secure another turret. That puts them now 23 to 19,000 gold in the lead, and they are looking very, very good in this one.
They are absolutely, and that's just Alternate having a very aggressive team composition. They can all make plays. Every single one of them has some kind of hard crowd control, so all of them can start a fight if they catch someone out, and then the rest of them can actually follow through and engage. So anytime a member of EG is caught out, and remember that everyone on EG is pretty short range, including Rise, They don't have very large spheres of influence, but the fight might start here.
Here we go with a wave coming over, and that's brilliant from Krepo. He's probably sealed them 2 kills here as they pull Froggen in. He flashes away from that one. Shaka takes the turret here. They don't care. They're diving this one. Wicked's in there. Kerp's going to go down. Wicked's going to escape from this as ForellenLord is on the backside, and they just walk back from this one. A 3-0 for EG.
Absolutely impressive by Krepo. His engage landed. Shaka a little alone here.
Yeah, Jree missed the hook there. He completely timed that wrong. ForellenLord puts the ultimate on himself. Can't get away from that. Pete picks it up, and then he's 4 kills for nothing. Wow.
Yeah, I guess being alone versus 2 champions, one of whom being the support, not that scary, and just brought his team back down from that prior fight. So EG is turning that around. Krepo landing the ult into the bubble right there for the double knockup, and then everyone following through. Wickd and Shaker got there. Froggen got there. Yellowpete just started throwing arrows out there, because why not? That was amazing. Getting 2 free kills off that. You can't turn that fight around. Alternate should have just turned tail and ran. They let up 2 extra kills because they didn't.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that ForellenLord took the route that he did there. Always going to be dangerous to back into your jungle, and you saw Jree went for the hook to try and save him, but not quite going to work things out there. So, EG, after that, just with that little moment there, they're now only 600 or 700 gold behind. So they've brought it right back in just the blink of an eye, taking down two turrets in the middle lane as well. And that's how quickly these games can swing.
Absolutely. Whenever your teams have good catching potential, which is hard to do when you've got 9, but is definitely possible, it's a little bit easier to do when you're alternate, but when you have the potential to catch someone out, you're going to start fights like this. Imagine if all of alternate were there, they would have a 5v4 could start. Instead, it's actually EG with the numbers advantage. They can start a battle even easier as ForellenLord is stuck on the other side of the map.
Yeah, he's going to be pushing that one up as much as he can. He didn't match Froggen and go with a teleport for this one, so he's not going to have that one available to him. And look at that. Bit of a kill squad set up from alternate inside of that brush. They're going to have Renekton and Nami coming in. Araneae are just trying to bait them out here as he hangs. And, well, Wickd not falling for that one. Just watch him going, but the cocoon will land. Could be in trouble. There's a pull from Jree. Tidal wave comes around. Wickd decides to stay. He goes back in, goes away. There's unstoppable force. Wickd is down. The chain encroachment spreads to Krepo. Shaka is there. We're going to be seeing Froggen coming into this one as well. Can they actually follow on? They decide not to go for the chase. An alternate say, right then, we're coming right back at you, clearing out the waves. They might be happy with just a turret here.
Yeah, ForellenLord came up from the bottom lane, walked his way there, got about the same time as Froggen, and this allows them to turn that turret kill, that champion kill into a turret kill as well. And I was just going to say that I really like ForellenLord's option to split push on the bottom side, especially now with Froggen's teleport down, because Alternate's 4-on-4 team, their non-ForellenLord team still is fully functional. ForellenLord fulfills the exact same role that Kerp does of hardcore engage and heavy magic burst damage. If ForellenLord leaves that team fight, they still have that same role there on the team. They've got everything else that they still need. Whereas if Froggen is gone, it's one of their primary carries. They no longer have magic damage output. They no longer have a carry that's not Twitch. And when you've got a team that likes to dive and assassinate people, which you do when you have Malphite and Elise, when Yellowpete dies, there's no cleanup potential for EG, which you actually saw there. Pete wasn't in the fight. Froggen wasn't in the fight. They burned all their ults just to kill Wickd, and nothing happened to them.
The other option that they've got now that Kerp's teleport is, I think I'm going blind. I think he's got about a quarter of the cooldown still left on that one. So now it's going to be up pretty soonish. He's got the option then of coming in, which, you know, Froggen then will be forced to match that. His teleport's going to be off cooldown later. So it doesn't take a genius to figure that one out. Who's going to be helping their team out more when it comes to that one. Right now, ForellenLord's going top side of the map. Maybe try and catch out Yellowpete. And here we go. The Claw of Doom coming in. The ultimate put down. Yellowpete's going to try and live this one out. He gets his ultimate running here. ForellenLord literally just waiting for those cooldowns, uses the Zhonya's. He's going to go chasing straight back after Yellowpete, who he's been chased left, right, and center. Araneae's coming across the side of this one. He's going to try and escape from it. There we go. They're going to chase in, and, well, he's still waiting here. Is he going to get over? No, he's not. Sniped from the side. WhiteKnight comes in, and there is Kerp actually getting chased down by Froggen and Wickd.
WhiteKnight said good night right there to Yellowpete, decided that my color is better than yours. Sniped him out on the side. D-Man cracking up on the left-hand side right there. But of course, Don't forget the old school Frog and Wicked combo. They can dive in there and crush you out. However, they are outnumbered on the top side of the map. Alternate could take this one. There's a chance for no, there's no smite for Shacker. This could be easy.
No smite. Is he going to go in for it and try and just, you know, hit it even? He'll see him go into this one. Baron is low, but Shaka is going to take down Jree. The tidal wave comes across. ForellenLord going low. Shaka's going to dive to ForellenLord here. As we see, the Baron has been kept alive from this one. He's on tender hooks right now. Are they going to be able to finish off? Araneae going low. The Baron is absolutely ripping them to pieces. And EG themselves now keeping this one alive. Baron is still alive. Froggen going low. Kerp's right on top of him here. Is he going to be able to escape? The snipe from WhiteKnight from the side. Krepo comes around the back. Double kill for WhiteKnight. They might be able to get more. Baron has finally reset. An alternate disengage. 3 for 2, but it might not be over just now. Krepo puts the ward in there. ForellenLord turns around. Manages to bubble up Kerp. Can they get more? No! Double kill for WhiteKnight. Brilliant.
Back-to-back double kills there for WhiteKnight. Remember, he got Yellowpete a second ago. He's 5-1-3 on Varus. If you are hitting on WhiteKnight and blaming him for Ultimate's losses, not right here. WhiteKnight playing amazing. Bloodthirster Last Whisper going towards Infinity Edge. The guy's going to snipe people out. And look at his adaptation as well. He went Ninja Tabby knowing his only way of dying is by Twitch, the Sinjao, and the Renekton getting on top of him, and says, fine, I'll add some armor to make sure it doesn't happen to me.
Smart stuff. Alternate here. I'm going to say, all right then, we can't finish off Baron, so I suppose we'll have to do the next best thing and head down towards the Dragon from this one. Bit of a welcome income of gold, 33.4 to 31.1 we have right now, and that's nice from Alternate. Being helped out a lot by WhiteKnight, as you said there, back-to-back double kills, now set up at 5-1-3. He's also got a solid 35 CS lead as Jree goes up there. Yellowpete stealthing up to get away from that one, didn't want to get hooked into the pack, and Alternate here going to go for another inner turret.
And they've got the potential to do this because Froggen has no teleport for the next few seconds and is in the top side of the map right here. So this turret will be theirs, and now we're going to see if they can outpush Froggen. Rise is not a very fast split pusher, but he does have his teleport back now, and he's recalling to defend the base.
Yeah, going to recall from this one. We'll see if Alternate realizes that he's gone out of that lane to actually pull his recall off, but Alternate may actually be able to take down this in-him turret before he can get around.
They've got to be careful to dive this, though, because they know Froggen's coming back. They know Yellowpete could explode them. If they don't catch Pete, it's going to have a really rough team fight for Alternate.
Turret down to half HP. Kerp rocking backwards and forth. They managed to pull Froggen through. Here comes a fight. There's he. Zonya's used by ForellenLord. He's getting focused down though. He's a dead man, and look at Pete. He's blasting through the entire team, but he's not got the damage. Araneae will take down the Twitch. Krepo going low. Double kill coming out for WhiteKnight, and they are going to be able to take down this inhib turret. Again, it's a 4 for 1. It was actually a triple kill for WhiteKnight in the end, and that is inhibitor number 1.
What an amazing team fight by these guys. ForellenLord pulled so much aggro. Zonya's ulti, all that stuff still went down, but pulled a lot of attention, whereas WhiteKnight was untouched. This might be enough to take down the base. Yeah. Can Shacker hold?
They're going for it. Shaka's going to have to come up big here for Evil Geniuses. He's not been in this position with a team before. We see Alternate take down one Nexus turret and decide that is going to be enough right now. All of EG up in less than 10 seconds from that point. They're going to back straight away from this one and recall themselves back to safety. But what a great play out of Alternate, picking up the team fight, getting the inhibitor, getting a Nexus turret as well.
And Jree making the hook, man. That is the reason that you get team fights like that. You could have engaged into the turrets, you could have dived, but it would have been risky. So instead, Alternate kept fishing, they kept fishing, they landed the hook. That's big.
Are they going Baron here, or are they going to set up a trap? They're going around for this blue buff. They've got a ward on top of it, and ForellenLord now might be in a little bit of trouble as they do go in for that one. Shaka did get the blue buff. Ultimate used by ForellenLord on himself. He is a dead man in a second. Sonya's up there last second, but Shaka will finish that one off, and they're going to turn around. It's a 5v4. Yellowpete's very low, though. They need to be really careful here.
Kerp has his ultimate, but Yellowpete has a lot of lifesteal. He has Vamp Scepter into Infinity Edge, actually, so every crit will let you. You're seeing 21 to 40 health each time. Kerp has his ulti, but I don't think they can win this easily.
Here comes Alternate. There comes the wave out. Yellowpete going low. Is he going to die? He flashes away. He's still alive, and he can still do damage. Wickd is going low. There's the kill for Froggen. We see Wicked still alive somehow there at the back. Kerp going to be dropping very low. He tries to escape, but it's a double for Froggen. Meanwhile, Krepo is chasing Jree around the map for this one. Jree turns around. Krepo finishes him off, and that will be a 4 for 1. I've said those numbers before, but this time, it's EG.
3 for 1 to stop Baron is okay, I suppose. I mean, you don't want to go -2 in a team fight, but going -2 instead of losing Baron is probably worth it right here. And because EG got hurt enough, Yellowpete had almost no health right there. The tanks were for the most part gone. Shacker lost some HP as well, and they knew the rest of the team was respawning. EG says, all right, we'll just mop up our base. And this game, it's just freaking crazy. I gotta say, this game is absolutely ludicrous. The battles go back and forth. It's 17 kills apiece. The turrets are only 3 apart. You're seeing the buffs get stolen back and forth as well. So let's take stock of where we are. Let's get back and realize what's going on.
I want to fight.
Oh, we are. And I might get interrupted by Svenscaron or someone else, but for now, they're not fighting just yet. So the tanks... The junglers are becoming tanks. Shacker is going for Aegis. Araneae has Aegis. He also got the Locket of Iron Solari as well, so they are beefy guys in the front line. Kerp and Wickd are fulfilling the same role. You're seeing Wickd get an early Sunflare Cape, Mercury Treads, adding a Last Whisper, interestingly enough, because he wants to actually deal damage to the back line along with Shacker, so not the tankiest Renekton, but it'll do okay. And of course, Kerp is going to be very disruptive in the back line with Frozen Heart, plus being Malphite. So backline's a little hard to deal with, a lot of frontline damage to them. Alternate though, they've got ward control and they're trying to control Baron.
Oh, they're setting up a trap. The hook misses though. Krepo just an inch or so away from being pulled into that barren pit of death, I think it would have been for him if he'd have gone in there. Doesn't have flash available. In fact, summoners across the board for EG are pretty much down. It looks like they want to play the positional game here. They know that Alternate are by Baron. They're going to go down middle, and Alternate have a decision to make, which looks to be coming back.
They don't really want to fight. They're baiting Baron instead of defending their base, but EG aren't going to fall for that because they'd rather trade and hit for Baron.
EG are going in, and Alternate are going to try and come around the back of them this time. Can they pick this one up? The turret is going to go down here. EG turning around with Wickd. He should be the first man in as Froggen's Banshee's Veil gets popped. There comes a tidal wave around the side. All the ultimates being thrown straight down into the middle of this one. ForellenLord at half HP there at the back. It's 1 for 1 right now as Froggen takes all the 3 men away, but he will finally go down to Araneae. Right now, Shacker, Wickd, and Krepo making a big run for this one. They're the only 3 men left alive here for EG, and they have to defend. Kerp has actually teleported into the base. This could be pretty ridiculous. The rest of the team are going to stop EG from actually recalling. They've got to walk the entire way back home right now. Kerp's already got that turret down to less than half HP. Those super minions may be enough to finish things off here. Is that the move that Kerp's been looking for as he goes onto the in-him? That Nexus turret is still alive. It's got no health left. It needs 1 more hit, but Alternate are focusing on that inhibitor turret. They managed to take that down, and they back away.
He could have traded his life for that turret. However, it would have left Baron on the table. This will slowly regenerate. It probably would have been worth it to risk it and like burn his flash to use 1 more auto attack on that turret. In hindsight, yeah, he probably would have went for it. But let's get back to that team fight right there. Froggen and Yellowpete stood in the same location. They got surrounded. They couldn't run back at Alternate's turret. They could have run down towards the jungle maybe a little bit. But basically, Kerp and ForellenLord both caught Froggen and Yellowpete in their ultimates. Yellowpete died without being able to do absolutely anything. There was no damage over from Yellowpete at all in that fight. So then, Elise, Malphite, Lissandra, they could just say, screw it, we'll just keep hitting Rise. The rest of your team does no damage because you're just kind of mostly tanks right there. And that's really what happened there. WhiteKnight fended for himself, wasn't a big deal, and they got an easy team fight out of it.
So, Dragon here, going to be picked up by Alternate. We're half an hour into this game, and it's seen so much action, it's ridiculous. And for those of you on Reddit that were complaining about EG's playstyle, apparently it took a 17-year-old to come in here and completely throw that one into the mixer. Because now this is an action-packed encounter, to say the least. That inhibitor in the bottom lane has now respawned. They've still got a wave of super minions coming up here, so they may try and use that to wedge themselves in there and take that inhibitor out once again. The Banshee's Veil of Froggen has gone down. Alternate is starting to move in. There's a bubble on towards ForellenLord. We've got Kerp right in the middle as the tidal wave comes out. ForellenLord taking a lot of damage. Where are they going? It's Froggen that gets pulled out, but no one's focusing him. WhiteKnight going to get exploded in this one. ForellenLord's low. He has to use his Zhonya. There is Wickd trying to back away on towards the fountain as Froggen is very low here as well. A flash in from Kerp will secure them that kill, and right now EG only have 2 men left. It's the support and it's Wickd on Renekton. This in-him's down. This could be the game.
He's got home guard though, he's got full health and mana. They can re-engage for this one, but the minions might be too much. It's gonna be close.
Oh, there's a bubble coming in onto two of them. Wickd goes in the back. That's one kill. Can they get the second? Yes, they can. Krepo gets that one. In fact, it's a double kill for Krepo. The Nexus turret has gone down though, but Krepo and Wickd have managed to hold on to this game for one little bit longer. They're not done just yet. Flash away from Araneae, and Wickd decides to back off. Insane.
Here comes the big difficulty though, because there's no turrets left in the base at, wait, there's 10 turret kills. What turret am I missing right there? Oh yeah, the mid lane hasn't gone down, of course. So there's actually only one inhibitor. Like, I assumed that with Nexus turrets dead, there must not be a middle turret left, but there is. So 10 turrets down, the top inhib's alive, the middle inhib's alive. EG has enough time because of the respawn timers to rush down Baron. Hope to God that Kerp doesn't stop them here, because we've seen Baron kill teams 7 times this game so far. And then if they can hold that, they can hold their base and get a ton of farm from the inhib death.
The teleport of Kerp, we should note that at this point of this game, he's not up right now. Baron is down to half HP. Araneae's coming in. He's got his smite available. EG need to be careful of this one. Kerp's coming around. Krepo is down to half. Here comes Froggen. He's used his teleport to get into this fight. Baron's done a lot of damage to EG as the cocoon comes in. The tidal wave going to be ridden out by the spider. Well, they go in for Krepo. He's super low, and he's going to be the sacrificial lamb this time around. But that leaves them 5 on 4. They're not finished. Yellowpete gets cocoon. He's dead. Araneae gets that kill, and now EG have got 3 men to defend a naked Nexus.
This is probably going to be the game here for Alternate. It's a 5v3 with basically full health bars. The top inhibitor is there is basically for free unless they make a mistake, and they can roll that into the base right here.
Well, Alternate have surely made the call here. Go for the Nexus. Finish off the game. There goes Shaka. He gets pulled in. He's now a dead man. Froggen is going to be locked up inside the Lissandra ultimate. There is a Zhonya's being used. The kill onto Froggen comes down. Wickd is the last man left alive. He's finished off by WhiteKnight, and Alternate are going to take the game here. 33 minutes into it. What a fantastic encounter and an amazing victory over Evil Geniuses.
And the streak has continued. The Spaniards have continued to win today so far. 0-4 yesterday if you don't count TCM. 3-0 today so far. So of course, Oxlade, it's on you now to beat Gambit Gaming. But I gotta say, this match was absolutely crazy. Starting out with a double kill in the jungle for EG. Froggen getting double buffs at level 3. And then Alternate still found a way to make some moves. The split pushing from ForellenLord, the hard engages there from Kerp, just picking up kills. The dive combos, getting rid of the EG backline. Very amazing play by Alternate.
And there's Alternate crossing the stage, going to shake hands with Evil Geniuses, and rightly so, because that game, as hard as it is probably to stomach right now for EG and their fans, it was a fantastic one to watch overall. We're going to head over towards Jason and Demon, who are going to have a tough task, I think, of breaking down that amazing game.
Thank you very much, Joe and Freak. What a game, holy hell. We had a slow one with NIP Lemon Dogs. We thought that was going to be entertaining, but 49 kills in just around about 35 minutes. It was bonkers back and forth action, crazy, crazy match. And you can see it in the faces of Alternate there, how much they enjoyed that. The discussions going back and forth. We just saw it as EG as well. They were already discussing it. They were shell-shocked. But honestly, that game could have gone anyway.
It was so back and forth. I wasn't sure we were actually watching Evil Geniuses right there because of the aggression that we saw to them, and not to mention Alternate finally being aggressive after their first couple of weeks when they were at the top of the tables, and maybe they realized, you know, we're not number 1 anymore. Maybe we need to change something up, be aggressive, and the throws back and forth, it was like they're playing catch, Steven.
Absolutely, you could say throws back and forth. They definitely went aggressive, and like you mentioned, the fact that they had been knocked off their perch. Gambit are now top of the league. Over to Gambit to see if they can win their next match, but of course that's going to be up against SK Gaming, which is going to be a pressure situation for SK themselves. But let's talk about this game. Let's go through these replays because we've got a couple of them. It was crazy action. One of them, probably the longest fight scenes. There's like a monologue from Rocky or something like that. A training video going on there. Back and forth action. People respawning and getting back in the fight.
Yeah, and you really saw, I have to give credit to Shaker's impact on the team for Evil Geniuses, where they finally started to be aggressive. They went for some really ballsy plays where they lost their bomb inhibitor, and they even didn't have the Nexus turrets. Like, all right, let's go for Baron. We need to force something to happen. And the first replay we're going to show you is actually the first time Alternate is going to end up going for Baron here. It's around 21-35. It's 7-9 in favor of Evil Geniuses in kills. However, Alternate is up in gold. So let's get that on your screen and show you what happens here. Is Shaker, he does a very necessary play. He ends up going in on top of Baron and ends up stopping this from being taken, but in the end, Evil Genius is going to lose quite a few members here as the camera. A little hard to work, but we're going to slow it down here as he goes in, sees Jree is very low, and I'm going to pause it here actually very soon as I get the overlay back up, and we're going to see. Right now, you have Krepo coming in with that wave. You have Froggen and Wickd here on the south side of the map trying to come in towards the top side. It's going to take them a while to get here, and all they're trying to do is just delay long enough for Shaker to stay alive here. He gets one kill, gets Chain of Corruption on, and he ends up almost getting away with that nice bubble to Krepo to knock ForellenLord up. He's trying to run away, ends up dying, but the thing is, this fight keeps going on so long that you end up seeing Alternate come out with a 5-for-2 in the end of this, and you see Froggen is going to jump in here. They're trying to keep him off this Baron as Araneae is even trying to burst it down. He ends up just getting exploded on right there by Froggen as they combo him. But here's the big change up. Kerp actually just teleported in right here and is going to come in onto this top side and just completely change this fight around. As you're going to see, Ultimate's going to come out very soon. Get some damage on a Froggen, keeps him there. As you see Krepo, I mean, he's completely zoning WhiteKnight here. But the thing is, in the end, he's not able to do enough damage as WhiteKnight just flashes in, picks up the kill on a Froggen. ForellenLord comes back into the fight to get for a kill, and they end up killing Krepo as well. And the fight, I mean, it was needed out of Evil Geniuses to stop that. But then they thought, you know, we think we're strong. Yeah, we thought we can win the fight. We can take Baron, we can take the game right now. But a little bit of overconfidence worked out in favor of Alternate.
Yeah, it was a crazy, crazy match. And honestly, like you said, a game of throws, everybody drawn to the Baron, then they were drawn to the inhibitor turrets, then it was back and forward action, and they kept winning and losing team fights. Nobody really had solid success in those team fights.
Yeah, that's what's weird, is that you expect with one team to win a major team fight that the game would go in their favor. Yeah. They would snowball from there, but it was just like each team taking advantage of a situation back and forth, picking up the kills, picking up the items. And we do have one more replay to show you here, and it was actually a very crucial point in the game because Evil Geniuses, they had no bottom inhibitor, and they were going to potentially go for Baron here, but they're like, all right, let's just rush down middle. And also they end up setting up for a potential come around from EG to go in for the Baron. So let's get the replay on your screen. It's about 28.5 minutes in. It's at 17-17 with score. As you said earlier, it's 40. How many kills in this game?
49 kills.
49 kills. So here you're going to see EG, they're pushed up. They're going to go for this turret here. They're going to eventually get it. But look what's in trail right behind them. All of Alternate here trying to pick up these kills, trying to stop them from doing it. So we're going to run it here really slow in a second once they do get the inhibitor down, because you're going to see Krepo. You're going to see Shaker go in on a Kerp. You're going to see Krepo land a nice wave. And I want to focus on this because he actually does something phenomenal in this entire fight. He keeps WhiteKnight out of it pretty much himself. We're going to slow down here. The wave's going to come out. And pay attention to WhiteKnight in the back. Also pay attention right here as you see Yellowpete and Froggen. Freak mentioned this during the fight, that they are grouped up. They are too close to each other, and that makes Lissandra's job so much easier. So you're gonna see WhiteKnight get knocked up by this bubble, and that keeps him out of the fight. He misses the Chain of Corruption, but look at Yellowpete, just ends up getting blown up, and because of that, now the rest of the damage can just train right onto Froggen, and they lost so much damage on top. As you see Wickd and Shaker trying to keep WhiteKnight out of this, but it's just his job to stay alive as long as possible while the rest of Alternate just clean this up.
And you saw it there, just how easy. Like, Alternate, so ForellenLord, Araneae, and Kerp, they had focus on Yellowpete. Boom, all three of them on him, while WhiteKnight is just kiting them away. It's just so easy for him. Like, their engagement just seems so much stronger.
Yeah, it was... I want to say if they maybe took the turret then spread out inside the base of Alternate, they might have had a better chance, because that way ForellenLord could not lock down both of the big damage dealers out of Evil Geniuses. But still, in the end, I mean, Krepo kept WhiteKnight out of the fight the entire time, just with the bubble, with the wave, and yet he didn't do any damage, missed the Chain of Corruption, and they still won that fight that heavily just because of ForellenLord.
Absolutely fantastic performance, and it does, of course, mean that Alternate step up the table once again. They're going to hold and secure their second place. We're going to go over to Soxo on the main.